Welcome to Raising Awareness with the Yeon-mi part. Today in this video, I am going to explain 8 reasons why the world should fear Chinese Communist Party and North Korean regime. People often think Kim Jong-un is a problem, but Chinese Communist Party is the actual problem. Chinese Communist Party funds North Korea, enables North Korea, and maintains North Korea the way it is. Without China, North Korea can never survive on its own even just for 1 month. It will collapse right there if China stops help North Korean regime. So 8 reasons why China is a danger to the rest of the world. Number 1, China helps North Korea to build these weapons of mass destruction, and it leads to selling these missiles in the black markets. These weapons that is going into the Middle East or Africa causes so much human suffering and civil unrest. Number 2, drug creation and distribution. North Korea in early 90s, in the lab, the regime ordered these scientists make some medicine that keeps the officials up and can work really hard without even sleeping. What they were really doing is trying to create these superhumans. And in this lab, what the scientists came up with was a thing called crystal meth. The regime gave it to the high officials, and this crystal meth, I never done it, but what it says is that you don't have to sleep for 24 hours, you become very energetic, and you can pay attention to a lot of little details. This drug initially made for the officials in North Korea to work hard for the regime. Later, the scientists in the lab were selling them on the side to the black market. North Korea people started using this meth, and then later it was sold to China, and from China to the rest of the world. There are so many drug overdoses in America right now. Like 75,000 people dying from drug overdose. Chinese Communist Party kills their own people to consume drugs, but they don't care that Americans die from these drugs they make in their labs. They're dumping this meth and other drugs into American society, and it's taking so many innocent lives. And we must stop it. China also creates these drugs and sell it to Americans. They don't care these drugs destroy American lives, while they execute their own citizens if they consume drugs. Number 3, China is influencing censorship in America. Media is in bed with the Chinese Communist Party. They get millions of dollars. All these mainstream medias that we consume every day are in bed with China, and they give us the certain narrative that Chinese regime wants us to see and believe. Another area this censorship is happening is especially in Hollywood films. I don't know if you have noticed it or not. If you watch recent Hollywood movies, there's so much sentiment of anti-American, especially in Hollywood films. They have been started to demonizing white people. The heroes are people of colors or Chinese. That is how the recent narrative is changing in Hollywood films. Furthermore, tech monopolies are started to censoring our free speech too. They are cooperating with the Chinese Communist Party, and they are censoring all these articles or any conversation that we have that doesn't fit their narrative. Look at Twitter, look at Facebook. I mean, every mainstream social media is not supporting free speech and only wants to have one narrative that is often the Chinese regime's narrative that want us to talk about. Next point. China has been funding many projects, especially top universities in America. This is pretty alarming because we send our children to get this higher education, but when they go there, what they learn is anti-American sentiment. In these universities are filled with anti-Americanism because they are getting these funds from China, especially schools like the Harvard, UPenn, and pretty much all these Ivy League schools are getting money from China. And therefore, in school, I went to one of those schools myself, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this is like the This is America, this is the greatest country on human history. And they are saying how white people are the problem, and they have caused the, every problem that we have in this world. And this one single narrative is getting into our young generation's mind. And no wonder why all these young people are supporting socialism right now in this today's world. The problem is that nobody is announcing Chinese Communist Party, especially the mainstream media or even NBAs. We saw that the LeBron James, how he was defending the CCP's position over Hong Kong. While so hypocritically he is talking about Black Lives Matter in America, but obviously for them, Hong Kong people's freedom is not matter to them. Only person who's been denouncing the CCP is Trump. He's the only president that actually came out and talking about the problem that China is causing to the rest of the world. Number 5, oppression of minority groups. Right now in China, there are lots of concentration camps. And in these camps are the people of minority groups. One of them are Uyghurs and a lot of other peoples, especially in Tibet. Chinese regime went to Tibet and destroying their culture and language and literally everything. They took everything away from Tibetans. And now their next target is, of course, people in Xinjiang who wants to be independent from this Chinese Communist Party. Not only these people like myself, the people who ran away from oppression from North Korea, going into China, what Chinese regime does is catching us and send us back to North Korea to be executed or tortured or sent to prison camp. Number 6, coronavirus. This virus came from China, and China did not even stop it. They created this virus and caused so much harm and created a new normal for all of us. This was just the beginning. We do not know what is coming next from China. Number 7, cyber warfare from North Korea. The future warfare is no longer going to be using nukes. It's probably going to happen through cyberspace. And North Korea has been preparing all of that warfare through Chinese help. North Korea is building these armies of hackers. They've been stealing so many money from the individual accounts and been hacking, stealing bitcoins. Not only that, they were hacking this insurance company in the UK and hospitals, literally a lot of things that we are vulnerable to. And North Korean hackers can only do this job because China is helping them, and North Korean hackers having a base in China right now and doing this work. Do you all remember when the Sony studio were hacked by North Koreans? If you say something upsetting to dictator, North Korean regime has a capability to retaliate what we say and taking things from us and leaking our personal information. This is an actual threat that North Korea is imposing to everyone in this world right now online. Lastly, number 8. China's social credit system doesn't allow Chinese people to dissent. Right now, China using this AI and facial recognition technology to watch literally every citizen, what they do, what they say, what they write, and they give them credits to literally scores every citizen based on how loyal they are to this Communist Party. And if your score is low in China right now, you cannot even take a transportation. You cannot take the train to go see your parents or your loved ones. You cannot take the airplane and flying out. This is a real true oppression that George Orwell envisioned in 1984 in his book. That Big Brother is watching you all the time and Chinese people are being watched by Chinese Communist Party every day in every single move. There is no guarantee that our freedom is safe from this kind of tyranny. I only covered 8 points today, but there are so many other problems that why China is dangerous to humanity. This was my message to you today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below, and thank you for watching.